All right, we are back with another version of the Refrigeration Domination Rankings. Today is January 28th, I think? I don't know. All right, so I am going to give you the top 10 most dominant teams in all of Division I men's NCAA basketball. Aren't the best teams necessarily, they are the most dominant teams, which covers my entire fridge. You might be asking yourself, Dave, where can we see the entire domination rankings? And, well, one, you could come to my kitchen, see them on my fridge. Or two, you go to collegebasketballtimes.com and you can find them right there. Now, why, Dave, do you have this all covered on your fridge with the college basketball teams? What if your daughter, Dave, wants to put up a test that she got 100 on, or a beautiful piece of artwork? It can't go on the fridge? Of course it can go on the fridge. Not during college basketball season. All right, so the number 10 team, the 10th most dominant team in the country is the St. Mary's Gales. Here you go. They go to number 10 right there. And why? Because they are 18-3, great record. Average margin of victory is 15.38. Pretty impressive. Also impressive because, some consider them a mid-major. Now, a big fan of the mid-majors is, of course, Dick Vitale, who, unfortunately, was just hospitalized because he fell. And the doctors say, and I quote here, he's making great strides. Yeah. Seems like there's evidence to the contrary. Number 9 is the Tennessee Volunteers. Right up. Tennessee Volunteers. They are the 9th most dominant team. Men's D1. They are 17-3. Average margin of victory, 16.75. Quite dominant. Not as dominant, however, as the number 18, the Houston Cougars. Houston Cougars, 16-3. Average margin of victory, 21.05. Now, Houston does have a lot of transfers this year, as does, pretty much most teams. The NCAA is actually shortening the transfer window. Finally, an advantage for players who are not tall. All right, number 7, the 7th most dominant team in the entire country is the Michigan State Spartans. Michigan State, number 7, right there. Why? Because they are 17-2. They have an average margin of victory of 13.63. Very impressive. Now, their coach is Tom Izzo. He's married to the wonderful woman, I'm sure, who goes to all the games. But I always hoped that he'd end up with Stockard Channing, which, might beg the question, why? Or, if you're under the age of 40, might beg the question, who the hell is Stockard Channing? Stockard Channing played Rizzo in the movie Grease. So if Tom Izzo married her, she'd be Rizzo Izzo. How great would that be? All right, we're up to number 6. The 6th most dominant team in the country is the Drake Bulldogs. Drake goes to 6. Why, Drake? Why, Dave, you ask? They're 18-2, and they have an average margin of victory of 13.40. 13.4 average margin of victory for Drake. Now, Drake isn't that well known of a school. In fact, there was a coach recently who referred to schools like Drake as Nobody U. Then said you got to fear Nobody U. Okay, whereas I fear that Nobody U will use me as a mascot. All right, we're up to number 5, the 5th most dominant team in all the land is Utah State Aggies. Utah State, 5th most dominant team in men's Division I. And why? 18-2 with an average margin of victory of 15.20. They're beating teams on average 15.20 points. Now this brings us to the Final Four. Who is number 4, you ask? That is the Iowa State Cyclones. The Cyclones, number 4. They are 17-2, but with an average margin of victory of 18.68. An impressive year so far for the dominant Iowa State Cyclones. Brings us to number 3. Number 3 is your Florida Gators. That's where our superstar intern goes, Ava. Florida Gators. Florida Gators is number 3. Now, University of Florida recently found no evidence, none, of photos sent by their coach to women depicting his genitalia. Well, maybe they should have squinted. This brings us to number 2. Who is number 2? The Duke Blue Devils. They go to 2. Why are they 2? They're 17-2 with an average margin of victory of 21. Wow, you say wow, but we can do one letter. Who's the number 1? The number 1 most dominant team in the country is, drum roll please. No drum rolls in my kitchen. Drum roll, none. Okay, I still give you the Auburn Tigers. Whoa. Number 1 most dominant team in the country. They are 18-1. Only team with only 1 loss until they lose, and then this becomes irrelevant. 18-1 with an average margin of victory of 18.68. There you go. There's your most dominant teams in the country. But I have one more bit of news for you. The NCAA, I read, is eliminating national letters of intent. Which makes sense, because nobody under the age of 18 knows how to write a letter. There you go. There's your refrigeration domination rankings. Enjoy.